So this is a video that the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, has released of their strike on Natanz, which is a nuclear enrichment facility in Iran. We're going to break down this whole graphic, but this is going to show us the way that Israel is striking these nuclear sites. And I'm going to get into the latest breaking news, everything we've seen recently, and one of the most intense examples of air superiority in modern history. Israel is making the F-35 the daddy of Iran's nuclear program, their missile launchers, and their intelligence chiefs. So we're diving into all of that and breaking updates. Who's your daddy? F-35? No, I said, who's your daddy? Say it like you mean it. F-35? I said, who's your daddy? F-35, F-35, F-35. Good. Welcome to the Max Afterburner channel, everybody. It's Ryan. Today we're breaking down one of the wildest military ops in recent history. We're diving into Israel's Operation Rising Lion. It's a heart-pounding airstrike extravaganza. It's torched Natanz, and we're going to review that video. It's smoked IRGC intel bosses, and there's breaking news. They've recently wiped out Iran's top military commander, Major General Ali Shamandi, in central Tehran. And the IDF has also posted rare footage of their June 17th extravaganza where they blasted Iranian missile launchers to bits in western Iran. We've got the F-35I Adir, the stealth beast, the F-15I Ra'am, and the F-16I just laying waste to different targets across Iran. Israel's commandos are also out there working hard, coordinating with these jets to strike targets. But here's the deal. Fordo's nuclear site is still ticking from everything I could find. It's too deep for Israel's bomb. So what's going to happen? How do they do it? How do they actually get to the bottom of that site? What's the tech that could get them there? And can Iran's rusty but once capable fighter jets actually get up there and fight? We'll cover all that in this video. Or is that just me dreaming about an Israeli pilot who has to eject from an F-35, but then he finds an old F-14 Tomcat in an underground bunker. He realizes how to crank it up, and then he fights his way out and slashes down other F-14s and F-4s. Or have I just been watching way too much Top Gun Maverick? Yeah, probably that. But in these strikes, guys, those F-35I pilots, they really know how to penetrate air defenses. They're dropping their loads with precision. Talk about a mission that hits all the right spots. But guys, this isn't just about flashy jets. It's about stopping a nuclear catastrophe. But Iran's been cooking up trouble at Natanz and Fordo. Those are their uranium enrichment fortresses. But Israel's basically said, not today. And it's worth noting that in February of 2025, the International Atomic Energy Agency, they did drop a bombshell. They said Iran's got over 400 kilos of 60% enriched uranium. And that's a heartbeat away from 90%. And that's what's needed for a nuke. So the IAEA said Iran could whip up enough juice for 9 bombs if it goes rogue. Though Tehran was like, nah, we're good. We're just chilling. We're just Netflix and chilling. Whoa, that little guy? The Ayatollah points to a 6,000-pound ballistic missile sitting in the corner. Nah, that little guy? Nah, don't worry about that little guy. And Natanz, 225 kilometers south of Tehran, that place packs 14,000 centrifuges spinning uranium gas to weapons-grade levels. It's buried 40 feet below the surface with 25 feet of concrete protecting it. So hitting inside Natanz was no easy task. You gotta go deep. You gotta go with that GBU-28 bunker buster. Talk about a bomb that knows how to penetrate those hard-to-reach spots. And here's that video of Natanz released by the IDF. You can see that they strategically know the areas to hit with their GBU-28s, and that's likely what was used in this strike. So as you can see now, they're taking us deep underground, and this is no simple, easy bunker to hit. The weaponeering behind this to get in there and hit these centrifuges and other weapons tech is next level. It basically takes PhD level weaponeers or fighter pilots to go in and figure out how to strike these targets. And this is cell phone video of an eyewitness seeing these strikes hit Natanz. So these are likely GBU-28 bunker buster bombs that's being filmed right now. So those are crowd pleasers, let me tell you. So those bombs are penetrating 40 feet of earth and then 25 feet of concrete. So this is a wild weaponeering experience for whoever created this attack plan, and seeing the success of it has got to be gratifying. This is no easy task. So even though Natanz has been hit, Fordo is buried so deep at 300 feet that the GBU-28's just not girthy enough to plunge in and, give it a good rattle. It's way too limp to drill down and rock that bunker's world, if you know what I mean. It's a little bit too small to thrust deep and blow that bunker's mind. You guys get what I'm trying to say. But Iran is tinkering with a uranium explosion device for a Shahab 3 missile that could hit Israel, Saudi Arabia, or Europe with a 1,200-mile range. And experts say Iran was months from the warhead, maybe even weeks. But let's talk about the aerial beasts that have recently turned Iran's defenses into confetti. The Israeli Air Force has launched close to 300 jets now, and these jets have gone in and struck targets like the nuclear facilities, Iran's leadership, and missile launchers. The F-35I Adir, that's Israel's custom Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II. They call it the Mighty One. And that jet is decked out with so much situational awareness tech that it's just insane to think about. This stealth monster slips past Iran's S-300 defenses, likely on the daily right now, establishing air superiority whenever it wants it. Like we talked about, Iran's daddy is now the F-35. It can drop up to 18,000 pounds of munitions with surgical precisions. The F-35I is a stealth ninja. It owns the skies. It makes enemy radars cry uncle when delivering pinpoint devastation. And then the F-15I, the F-15, the first love of my life. Built on the back of Boeing's F-15E or F-15EX Strike Eagle, this beast has a 2,700 nautical mile range and an 11-ton payload. That's just insane. It's got the sniper pod and it's got all-weather capability. It likely is the one that rained down with that big beast, the GBU-28 bunker buster bombs on Natanz's underground enrichment facility. This GBU-28 dropped from the Strike Eagle shredded fortified targets. So the F-15I, if I had to describe it, I would call it a thunderous warhorse that smashes bunkers and dominates any battlefield with just pure raw power. And then the F-16I Sufa, which means storm, that's a modded out F-16C Block 52 with conformal fuel tanks. It's got a sniper pod, so it can target things probably beyond 15 nautical miles. And it's got 11 hardpoints for JDAMs and AGM-65 Mavericks. It can clean up mobile launchers and surface targets with ease. The F-16I Sufa is a nimble predator. It hunts down targets with relentless precision, day or night. This thing is a hunter. But the F-15Is led with suppression of Iranians' air defenses. They shredded radars, dropping their bombs to take out facilities like Natanz. And speaking of those jets dominating targets, this is a video released by the IDF just recently in Western Iran of these jets smashing these targets, these missile launchers. Right dead center hit on that one. Wow. That truck was transporting weapons. Oof, this is not going to go well. That first bomb nicked it. The second bomb did a little more than nicked it. Oof. Wow. Obliterated that entire missile launcher area. So Iran is likely bringing as many missiles as they can towards Tehran. They're trying to protect. They're trying to insulate themselves now. They're retreating back to where they can protect things the best. And what they think that would be is Tehran. But I'm telling you, these F-35Is don't care. They don't care. They'll go right in. They'll establish air superiority. So trying to get these missiles there is a last-minute task that Tehran is trying to do to protect these missiles. But in my opinion, they're basically just delaying the inevitable. But remember, Iran's got nuclear sites that are buried deeper than your ex's grudges. So Israel rolled out the heavy hitters so far, but they're gonna need something bigger to get to some of these sites. And that GBU-28, it's definitely a beast. It smashed through concrete and obliterated targets. So let's talk about it. The GBU-28 is a 5,000-pound laser-guided juggernaut. It's carried by the F-15I. It punches through that 25 feet of concrete or 100 feet of dirt. So it's perfect for Natanz's underground centrifuges, which are said to be buried at 40 feet and then 25 feet of a concrete shield. Those GBU-28s are 5,000 pounds of steel and explosives, and I've weaponeered these things before. Their capability is insane. They're guided by a laser, so you've got a weapon systems operator in the back of that F-15I that's guiding it in and smashing it through those bunkers. So why have there been no radiation links? Well, the centrifuges that spin uranium, hexafluoride gas, not reactor cores, so they release only low levels of radiation contained by Natanz's walls. The IAEA confirmed on June 14th that no radiation spikes have happened off-site, though internal cleanup needs hazmat gear, obviously. And then the Elbit 35 MPR, we got to mention that as well. That's Israel's bomb, and that can blast through 4 meters of concrete. That's used on missile factories so far. And then they've also used the Rafael Spice 2000. That's a 1,000 kilogram guided bomb, likely for the IRGC Intel building that was taken out. Israel lacks the US's 30,000 pound GBU-57, but it's got the GBU-28 and the GBU-39s, which are small diameter bombs. Those bombs can do the heavy lifting for now, but Fordo, the other nuclear facility that is likely not fully rattled yet, That's a beast. It's too deep for the bombs that Israel currently has. More on that here in a second. So picture this. You're an F-35I pilot. Your heart's pounding. You're flying 2,000 kilometers into Tehran. You're dodging radars to nail Natanz or Fordo. You've got F-15Is behind you doing the same. This is Operation Rising Lion. It's literally pure adrenaline. So the F-35Is are focused on those S-300s and other targets, while the F-15Is prepare their 5,000-pound bunker buster bombs to go in and do work. And so far, these jets have taken out roughly 120 of Iran's 360 missile launchers, so about a third. So they've created a free highway into Tehran. So here's a list of facilities that have been hit so far. Natanz's nuclear facility, that's Iran's enrichment core, it's been hit hard and it's exposed. This sprawling site has centrifuge halls 40 feet underground, under a 25-foot concrete shield. That's why the F-15Is needed that GBU-28 to smash into it and trash those 15,000 centrifuges. Fordo's nuclear facility, it's Iran's backup bunker. It's 300 feet under a granite mountain near Qom. It was targeted on June 13th by F-16Is and F-15Is, but so far it's been reported that there's been no significant damage since it's so far underground. So in order to get down to Fordo's nuclear facility, they're going to need to go deeper. They're going to need something that satisfies a little bit better than that GBU-28. But how did the IDF take out these intelligence chiefs? Well, the IDF has called it a sudden opportunity strike. So I would guess likely an F-35I dropping a GBU-39. That's guided by real-time Mossad intel tracking. So they probably tracked Shamdani's movements in a Tehran command center and then possibly via even hacked into his phone and found the signals, or they used drone surveillance to hack into his phone and find signals and find where he was in a specific part of a building. And then the GBU-39 is so precise, you can literally put that small diameter bomb through a window. But Israel gutted Iran's military command and they took out top-level commanders, and I would expect to see this type of thing continue. So what's next? The skies are probably gonna get hotter, but what do you guys think will happen next? At this time, Iran is saying they want to negotiate, but is that actually sincere? Because Iran's done this in the past. They've gaslighted us before. They've sworn that there's no nuclear enrichment going on. Meanwhile, Natanz and Fordo's uranium enrichment spins like crazy. It's like a gaslighting text from that special someone. Ooh, Stacy sent me a message. Hey, how you been? Sweet, I'm gonna message her back. Good, you? Ooh, she texted back fast. What'd she say? New phone, who dis? Wait, she texted me first. Damn. So Israel may have slowed Iran's nukes, but Fordo's a true beast, buried 300 feet deep. It's too tough for those GBU-28s to take out. So you need a US B-2 Spirit dropping the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator. That's a 30,000 pound bunker buster bomb that will drop fury through 200 feet of rock. So you might even need two of those in order to get to the basement of this facility. Only the US has it, and they're not sharing currently. And then let's talk about Iran's Air Force. Could they fight back? They're F-14s, they're F-4s, they're 1970s relics. They've maybe got 20 F-14s and 40 F-4s. Maybe a quarter of those are flyable. They've been grounded by sanctions and the inability for Iran to get parts for them. And then reports are saying that they don't have any Su-35s from Russia currently, but who knows? Maybe they've gotten a couple. So Israel's F-35Is would basically eat the lunch of all of these jets with AIM-120 missiles. What's next for the IAF? So at Fordo, they're probably going to continue more raids or commando hits on what they can take out. But that's a long shot without the GBU-57. Missile factories, though, that is a big focus for Israel. They're going to target Shahab 3 plants to try to cut into Iran's 2,200 plus missiles. And then intel targets likely will continue. After Shamdani and the 4 IRGC chiefs, more are likely being hunted as we speak. So Israel's Operation Rising Lion is a masterclass so far. F-35Is, F-15Is, and F-16I jets. GBU-28 bunker buster bombs are kind of the star of the show so far. And then Israel's also dusted the IRGC chiefs, and this could continue. So Israel's Air Force, their tech is unreal, but with Fordo spinning and Iran's missiles still flying, things are going to continue to heat up. Let me know what you think is going to happen with this conflict in the comments below. I really appreciate you guys checking out this video. Please check out this video next. That would really be the biggest compliment you can give me. I'll see you on this video right here. Thanks so much for watching. So I'll see you on this video right here. This is Ryan, also known as Max Afterburner, signing off.